Okay, this is the third video for the physiology behind memory formation. Specifically in this video we're going to have a look at memory decline over the lifespan. So you should be able to compare a young adolescent adult with an elderly person in their memory formation or memory ability by the end of this video. What's important to note is that there is no conclusive research or no conclusive evidence that's going to suggest that memory actually declines as we get older, or significantly declines as we get older. What we find is that like an elderly person, if you think about an elderly person, as we get older, everything's sort of slowed down. Their muscles slow down, their body sort of slows down. This is because we have a slowing of the nervous system. So it's not that they can't do things, it's just harder and it happens at a slower pace. We know that the brain is made up of nerves, part of the nervous system, so it also makes sense that the brain also slows down and just takes longer for the information to either be recalled or to learn. As another normal aging component is sort of like loss of tissue. If you think about muscle mass and the ability for like the size of the muscles or even like the skin, that sort of declines and degrades as we get older. So it also makes sense that brain tissue or the nerves are going to see some of this degrading as we get older, which can result in some small memory defects, but it's not going to impair their daily function or be a significant impact upon them. Now there's a couple of influences that are going to obviously impact upon memory performance as we get older. Older people are going to remember information if they're asked to recognize it rather than recall it. So recognition is being able to identify it from a range of options, which suggests that older people do know information or can remember information correctly, but their ability to recall it without any help, against this is a harder level of remembering, suggests that it does take longer, or it is harder for them to remember stuff, but the information is still there. What's also really interesting to note down the bottom here is that younger adults and older people actually have the same sort of level of recognition across a lifespan. So here's a study here. We can see this is recognition. It's fairly consistent and stable no matter if you're 20 to 60. So information that's there is there. It doesn't get lost, we can find it. It's just when we don't have anything to help us remember it as we get older, our recall is going to decline. So that we do need some assistance when we get older. Another thing that affects memory ability would be the type of memory that's stored. We're going to look at this in more detail when we look at models of memory in the long-term memory video. I think it's video 4. You can have a look at these types of memories in more detail, but basically what we find is, so semantic memories are very resistant to aging. So things that we know, factual, this is a piano, this is a computer, this is a voice, a table, factual information doesn't seem to mind to be bothered by in an older person. Procedural stuff, so how to do things in a specific order, is a little declined, a little bit affected, but not really. What is affected the most is episodic memories. So stuff that's meaningful, stuff that's personal to an individual, is the most affected by an aging brain here. Meaningfulness. As we get older, meaningful information obviously is remembered more easily. That's not a word. Meaningful material is remembered better than stuff that's meaningless. I think that generally would go with most ages, but it is seen more in older people here. And also the complexity. So divided attention or complex tasks are harder, and older people don't perform as well as them. Again, if you think about brain tissue sort of slowly and steadily degrading and not working as fast, this sort of makes sense. But when we're comparing simple single tasks that younger and older participants have similar abilities. So it's not that they can't do things, this is just more complex for the brain to do, and it makes it a little bit difficult. Confidence has an impact upon memory. Older people are less confident in their memory abilities than younger, so that does impact upon it then impacts upon their ability to remember information, and other things like lifestyle, environmental factors can also impact upon the brain here. And that concludes this video.